Day 11. Ryan W., like I mentioned earlier, he sent into this one. Super special. We'll get into it after the opening. It's Evan Willias 12. Let's go. So you guys remember all the way back to the beginning of this series when Ryan had submitted the Reflection 1 from Blue Run. And I knew he had submitted 2, like I mentioned at the top before the opening. So I wasn't sure how these would fall, if they would fall next to each other, whatever. They happen to fall kind of beginning and end, and I'm here for it. For those of you that have watched the live streams and those of you that know, Evan Willias 12 was a bottle that I, unfortunately, on a trip with he and his wife and my wife, broke. And I broke it the morning we left to leave. This is a bottle that you can only get in Japan, or if you take one of the specific tours at Evan Willias. So it's been a kind of a running thing on the live stream. I've actually had Joe provide me with a sample of it. He brought it over, and I just love this bottle. I cherish this bottle. Honestly, though, this is the epitome of everything I've been talking about these 12 days. Yes, the memory from that trip, or a memory from that trip, was I broke this bottle. But you have no idea about the other memories we made just hanging out, enjoying the trail. First time for all of us on the trail, by the way. And, so you just come back to these things, and this is the power of this. And this is what this evokes. I mean, when he provides this to me, it's special. Another person might look at it and go, damn it, that's the broken bottle, whatever. This is just special that he sent this and thought about this. So I'm going to quit opining about that. We're going to get into this because it was one of my favorites on the trip. So let's go. We are on a roll. These little nubby things in the Boston rounds are not beating us. So Evan Willias 12 is a Heaven Hill product. Comes in at 101 proof. It does have a little more malted barley than rye, so it's not actually going to be even a low rye because barley is the second grain here. It is one of those, to me, that, again, at the top evokes his memories. Let's just jump right into this one. I've enjoyed it the 2 times now I've had it. So classic bourbon. And you can maybe see why this is such a great introduction, because at 12 years, you expect it to maybe be over oaked or starting to lend out there, and it's just not on the nose first rip. In fact, I'm getting some of those classic caramels, maybe even a little bit of overtone of some... Maybe even a little overtone of some graham cracker, something. Oak is still prominent, but not overpowering. And it is starting to lend it to smell kind of like the older oak, but it's not gone all the way over the hill yet. There's also some vanilla on the nose as well, which I don't typically tend to call out because I would expect when it's a straight bourbon to really get that. But it kind of does stand out as its own note here. Go on to the tasting. On first blush, it brings me back to the reason why I enjoyed this is because there's a ton of simplicity here, but it all pulls together. Got a little bit of cinnamon, very little bit. I'll bring that up first because it's the first thing that pops as I'm kind of letting it sit on my palate for a little while, which is not a super long finish, and it's a little medium to lighter on the palate. So at 101 proof, you can tell they had to dilute back, likely. I don't know what the entry proof was and what a finish proof was, but clearly, based off what I'm guessing here in a 12-year product, you're going to do that. There's also maybe a little bit of honey. Let's get in here on a second sip. Vanilla, honey, a touch of baking spice. Touch of the rye, too, which is kind of surprising. I don't recall getting that as prominently before. Maybe it's just something, obviously that, my palate, your palate and your environment changes. So maybe it could be that drinking it in here, recording, it's just slightly different, but it all pulls together. It's not like they're all separate and disjointed. And so I could see where maybe someone would go, wow, 101 proofer for a 12-year, and it's hung at $130 MSRP. That just doesn't seem worth it. You're in that $10 a year range, but it's just so well constructed. And I think that's where I think most people would, if they were being honest, would be like, wow, it really does come together in just a beautiful way. Go on to the final sip. Yeah, as this really starts to coat your palate and get in there, all of that continues to marry together, and it makes this beautiful brown, brown sugarish. Yeah, brown sugarish, cinnamon, vanilla, just sweet like a dessert. And it's just beautiful. And I got, so just a quick aside, I can understand why this would be popular in the Japanese market, because Japanese, when they do tend to have whiskeys or desserts or anything like that, they want the sweeter, but they don't want it to just destroy you with sweetness necessarily. They enjoy a big, bold sweetness, just not destroy you. This is such a nice subtlety with the oak behind it. I can see why they're choosing to probably market segment here the way they do, because it seems like it'd be a very popular product. I can say that because I have lived in Japan previously. So in case you're wondering why I'm just making that connection, that's why. All in all, just for the memories this evokes, the premium product, which I feel it is, though I understand that could be somewhat controversial, really just honestly a beautiful bottle. Unfortunately, the only way you can get it is to either get it imported back to the United States or shipped or whatever. I'm not telling you what to do. Or go to the Evan Willias Experience, take a tour, and hope that's one of the bottles they're selling that day. There is some secondary value here. You'll find them on secondary. They're running between 2 and 3x of the retail. So you could probably pick it up that way too if you're so inclined. But I think you'll run across someone that has one that will be willing to have a pour with you and make a memory. So see how I did that and close that one up? I'm getting pretty good at that. Okay. I'm not going to break my own arm, pat myself on the back. Don't worry. So thank you guys. We will see you tomorrow for day 12 to wrap up what has been an amazing, amazing experience for me. I've learned a ton. We might go into that a bit, but I'm not going to draw this one out. Cheers.